So welcome back. We're going to take what we talked about yesterday and we're going to real simply break it down Monday to Thursday. The journey to the promised land should have taken around 2 weeks, but it didn't. It took more like 2 years. So the question is, what is God doing? And Deuteronomy chapter 8, verse 3 explains that he did it to teach you that people do not live by bread alone. Rather, we live by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. This simply means that God allowed the Israelites to face hard times to teach them that they can't rely on their own strength. They can't rely on their relationships and leveraging their relationships to get something out of it. They can't rely on what they can do. They can't rely on their material things. They simply must rely completely on God and his presence in their lives. And remember, these stories, they're not just stories about people in the desert who couldn't trust God. These are stories about us. And so I want to ask you, has your journey with God does it look the way you thought it was going to look like? Maybe on your journey to spiritual maturity, you thought it'd be a simple 2-week deal, but it's turning into 20, 40 years of trying to figure this stuff out. So I want to ask you to kind of think about the children of Israel and their story and ask you, do you feel like your Christian experience is like the children of Israel? Let's go through some of the questions that I gave to you yesterday. Are you complaining a lot to your friends, like things are happening and your first response isn't prayer and surrender? You just get on social media, you talk to your friends and you're on the phone and we're just really, really amped and with complaints and negativity. Are you thinking God isn't moving fast enough? You've been saved by God and somehow you should be somewhere but just not here. Things should be better, faster. And you're looking at the local church saying, what are they doing? We just need to make this better and faster. And so is that kind of your tension that God isn't moving fast enough? Are you sick and tired of how God has saved you and you want more? Are you and your friends kind of elevating yourselves saying, well, God speaks to everybody, not just my spiritual leader? What's that look like for you? Are you wanting to return to your old sins, your old way of life for some relief, for some fun? When you face hard times, do you really only see the problems that kind of make you crumble and you begin to forget about all the ways God has protected you, loved you, and redeemed you? I want you to take a moment to reflect on those questions. I would challenge you to reread those stories that we find in Exodus 15, 16, 17, all the way through the Old Testament. Reread those stories of the children of Israel. What do you think was going on in their lives and how they were responding to God? My question that I want to just give you today, and then we'll be done, is do you feel like as you're walking through life and you're facing some challenges, do you find yourself surrendering? Do you find yourself in this more intimate relationship with God and reading scripture and praying and just kind of spending time with God and say, God, I give my life to you. Teach me what's going on. Or do you feel like you're complaining? You're kind of hard-hearted and you're just really not on the God page. It's just God has to do what I want, when I want, the way I want. And if not, I'm really upset with church, Christianity, spiritual leadership. I'm just complaining a lot. So what is that for you? What is your Christian journey like? Do you find that you're surrendering and there's kind of a softness about you? Or do you find that you're just kind of walking through life with a hard heart and complaining? Just really something to think about, because I can't get away from that scripture in Deuteronomy 8:3. He did it to teach you that people do not live by bread alone. Rather, we live by every word that comes from the mouth of the Lord. Take some time and reflect on that. I'll see you tomorrow.